be feeling that you can be the agents of change. Yes, sir. Pakistan is not being run by politicians well. If we provide this opportunity to you, according to your understanding, you can run it well.
Exactly, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't this idea come to your mind every day?
Everyone thinks about it.
Huh?
Everyone thinks about it.
Kharpur is not being administered well. If we appoint you the Deputy Commissioner of Kharpur, you can revolutionize entire Kharpur.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't this idea come in your mind?
Yes, sir. On daily basis.
It comes. But then you kill that idea. You don't share it with others. Or you only share it in verbal form with your friends. And then your friends, mock at you. They jeer at you. They make you laughing stock. You are thinking yourself as a deputy commissioner. You can't even qualify the preliminary test of CSS and you are just taking the job of a CSS officer. And then what do we often do? We keep silent.
Yeah, always.
Yes.
Sir, I have shared this idea. One of my friend, now he started calling me AC/DC fan.
Oh, so people will love
Still he's calling me AC/DC fan.
when you will share this idea with anyone, people will laugh at you.
Exactly, sir.
But don't you think that the more people laugh at you, the more humiliated you feel?
Yes.
Huh? Now, this humiliation is taken as a negative connotation. It is taken as a negative feeling. But for creative writers, this humiliation is a very positive force. The more you are humiliated, the more creative you become.
Yes, exactly.
You register your voice through writings. But how? If you will write that if I will become the assistant commissioner of Kharpur, I will revolutionize the education system of Kharpur. Nobody will read it. People are like, he is a student of Bhatim University doing MA English from, and he will be revolutionary. This is rubbish, this is nonsense. Throw it out. But take my point. Because medium matters.
Yes, sir.
But if you convert it into a short story, you create a character like you. In fact, you will be yourself that character. But it is not with your name. You take it Sajad or Sajid, a young guy from rural area of Kharpur. He came with this idea and then you make him CSS officer. Because in writing, in making a story, he can be made CSS officer in a single line.
Exactly.
He appeared in exam and qualified CSS and became assistant commissioner.
Exactly, sir.
Though our entire life is vested for this pursuit. Huh? But this is what we can do in a single line in our story.
Single in our story.
And he becomes CSS officer. Appoint him in Kharpur. And then try to create that space that you wanted to create with your own ideas. He started visiting universities, colleges, schools. In evening, let him, conduct classes for CSS preparation. On every Sunday, let him do something positive where he can, create check and balance on the entire system. And finally, you will conclude the ways of education in Kharpur were a bit different from his being posted earlier. People will read this, oh yeah, this is an idea, this can be done. Some of the critics might criticize you. They will take you the victim of a fantasy. They will doubt the veracity of this story. But the youngsters will appreciate this. And possibly some of the youngsters may come up with this idea that when I will be deputy commissioner or when I will be assistant commissioner, I will be pursuing all these things.
Exactly.
So your voice is heard. Your voice is
Heard.
You are not being insulted. You are being appreciated.
Yes, sir.
You are being
Appreciate.
This is purpose of writing. This is purpose of
Writing.
Power of writing.
and this is also a power of writing. Thank you. Do connect me and do add some things on your own as well.
Yes, sir.
Because I in the very beginning told you that you all are human beings and you have special capabilities.
Yes, sir.
And then always take yourself special. Don't put yourself in airs, but always try to take yourself special. You all have special powers. You all have special powers. Okay? So, we need to think about writing, we need to think it on serious grounds. Okay? Then we need to identify the purpose. Purpose is identified. Our purpose is now, let me sum it up. This was the only first aspect of the purpose, that I wanted to write because I know writing skills. I wanted to write because I have certain ideas in our mind that need to be conveyed. But there are other purposes as well. There are other purposes as well. World needs our contribution. World needs
Our
our contribution. Our ideas matter. Our ideas
Matters.
matter. Do you think that writing is only something that is to be done by Western scholars?
No, sir.
Do you think that creative writing is something that is to be done by only the students of Karachi?
No, sir.
Do you think that creative writing is something where only the students of LUMS contribute?
No, sir.
Do you think that you have no potential for creating your own image and creating your own voice?
No, sir. We have.
As a human being, you are all competitive. As a human being, you have all the potentials. Yeah, privileges are different. Privileges are different. You belong to rural background, you have limited resources, you don't have that much access of material, you don't have that much exposure to the world, you are poor like me in expressing yourself in English, but you are best in expressing yourself in Sindhi. So, till now, have I ever said that you need to be creative writer in English?
No, sir.
Do I say?
No, sir.
And my purpose is not to make you good writers of English.
Yes, sir.
My focus is, and I appreciate this, title. This is Young Writers Workshop. This is not Young Writers Workshop in
In English, yes, sir. Sure.
Though our medium is English, because if I will be speaking in Sindhi, you will not take me serious. Yeah. They could say, teacher from the university came and he was telling us about creative writing, like this, blah blah. Except some of my students who know me well. They might be, taking me little serious because they think that I have this capacity and capability of delivering this talk. Otherwise, all the new faces, if I had been delivering this, workshop in Sindhi, they might have written, yeah.
No, sir, we will respect you. Rather, in any language you will tell
Really?
us. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's very great on your part. Okay, but no, I will continue to speak in English. So you need to be creative, and you need to be creative in any language. It doesn't matter that you are writing in Hindi, you are writing in Urdu, or you are writing in
English or anything.
Yeah, there is advantage of writing in English, because if you will write in English, your access will be greater in terms of your audience.
You will get recognition.
Yeah. Recognition is something, but recognition is always sought in our mother tongue as well. Because
Exactly.
some creative writers believe that one cannot write good in any other language. The best platform for writing creative is to write in
Your own language.
one's own language. Okay?
Yes,
But
sir.
these are certain myths, we will suspend these myths later on. So, you need to identify your audience. For whom are you writing?
Exactly.
Sometimes we only write for ourselves. Sometimes we write for our class. Sometimes we write for our teacher. Sometimes we write for our community. Sometimes we write for only Sindhi speaking audience. Because if you write in Sindhi, definitely you have set your audience people who know Sindhi.
Exactly.
Sometimes we try to collect audience through the world. Then definitely you need to write in
English language.
because if you write in English, your ideas will sell throughout the world. If you write in Sindhi or any other regional language or in Urdu, then only the persons knowing those languages will read you. And then not all the people of that language. If you write Sindhi, do you think that all Sindhi
No,
will
sir.
read? Only a limited number of audience will read it. For example, there is a journal being published from Kharpur. If you will get it published there, and that journal has a capacity of circulation of 1,000 copies, only 1,000 people may read you, or 2,000 people, or 3,000 people may read you. Because if one journal is being read by 3 persons or 4 persons, or maximum 5,000 to 10,000 persons may read you.
Sir, you will get audience according to your genre.
Yeah.
For example, you have written on resistance, the people who are
Interested in resistance, they
Yes,
will
sir.
read.
They will read.
Yeah. So, but it is very much necessary to identify your audience. Because writing matters to audience. Your approach towards writing will be different if you are going to write it for yourself. Sometimes we write diaries, and we know that these diaries are to be read by us alone. There we can be very much candid. There we may be telling the truth about ourselves. But when you write for public audience, we tell lies, we mix things, we invent things, make it flowery. And this is what we all need to learn today. Because my concept is not to limit yourself towards your personal writings. My aim is to make you creative writer that is to be recognized by the entire world. So you need to identify your audience. Now your purpose is clear, your audience is clear, you are clear about your writing. The next thing that comes is collecting ideas. Because what is writing? Writing is all about ideas. Writing is
All about ideas.
all about ideas. What do we share in writing? In writing we share
Just ideas.
ideas. Now don't get yourself complicated that our ideas must be philosophical ones. Don't get yourself entangled into the dilemma of selecting the best ideas. I should write something different that may create difference in the world. Because in presence of Shakespeare, Shalati, Sheikh Ayaz, Amar Jalil, if I will write something, people will laugh at me. And I will not be accepted. My dear friends, if this will be your approach, you will never write a single line.
Exactly.
My half of the lecture is based on creating your significance.
Yes, sir.
Amar Jalil is no doubt the godfather of Sindhi short story. But it never means that I must not write short story because Amar Jalil writes in Sindhi. Is he a barrier? If I will take him as a god of writing short story, then I will start feeling on these lines that in his presence, how come it possible that people will read my short story? We will not write throughout our lives. You cannot be Amar Jalil, but Amar Jalil once was like you. Amar Jalil was once like
Yes.
you. You can be greater than Amar Jalil. One day you can be greater than Amar Jalil. Or do you fix him at the lost litmus test?
No, sir. No, sir.
He's ordinary human being.
Exactly.
The only person that was deliberately made the god of writing was Shakespeare. Because entire West was investing in him as a universal writer. Those who have studied English literature, they know that teachers when used to come into class, even I myself, because I teach drama in Latif University, and when I used to talk about Shakespeare, I used to tell my students Shakespeare is a wonderful writer, he is a universal writer. No any writer in the world can match to his creative genius. And this was all nonsense that we used to teach in the class. Believe me. Unfortunately, not realizing this, because at that time I had no idea that I am delivering a talk on creative writing as well. Because if I tell you that Shakespeare is divinity and Shakespeare is like God in writing world, and if I tell you that Shakespeare is the only universal writer, but today I need to tell you that you can dismantle Shakespeare as well.
Exactly.
You can write better than Shakespeare. You can write better than Shakespeare. But no. This is what I am trying to even involve in a difficult situation. Baba, you are not Shakespeare. You are not Amar Jalil. You are not Ibrahim Khan. You are not Amar Iqbal. You are yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You are yourself. You are yourself. Your word counts. Your ideas matter. And you have a better platform to express yourself. Never compare yourself with others. That is your insult. Let people compare you with others. Let
People compare.
people compare you with others. Oh yeah, wow. His writing style is such a lucid one. He's so much clear. He's so much, blunt, and he's so much direct that it reminds me the story of Amar Jaleel. He seems to be highly impressed by Amar Jaleel. There are resemblance of his writing and Amar Jaleel. Yeah, this can be done. And then the time will come when people will say what? No. Amar Jaleel could not speak like this. Amar Jaleel has certain limitations. He has gone one step ahead of him. Yeah, he is establishing his own recognition. He has his own style. He is not copying Amar Jaleel. This is all natural. This is all neutral. His approach is different. Amar Jaleel did not write any story about science fiction. He is writing on science fiction. In Amar